Picture this. You're sitting at your computer, working on an important project, when suddenly your hands, like grip of pain, your fingers curl involuntarily into a claw, the muscles in your palm contracting so violently that you sodden them no matter how hard you try. The agony shoots up your arm like electricity, leaving you gasping and desperate for relief. You shake your hand frantically, trying to massage away the cramp. But the pain persists, stealing your ability to write, type, or even hold a simple cup of coffee. If this terrifying scenario sounds familiar, you're not alone in this struggle. Hand cramps affect millions of people worldwide, particularly those over 40, turning simple daily tasks into a source of anxiety and frustration. But what if I told you that the Cleveland Clinic, one of America's most prestigious medical institutions, has identified a common food that could be the hidden culprit behind your hand cramps? A food so ordinary, so seemingly innocent, that it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now, silently sabotaging your muscle health with every bite you take. Meet Margaret, a 62-year-old retired piano teacher from Ohio whose life had been transformed by debilitating hand cramps. For 3 years, she watched helplessly as her beloved ability to play piano slipped away, her fingers betraying sudden, excruciating spasms that would strike without warning. I couldn't understand what was happening to me, Margaret recalls, her voice heavy with the memory of those dark days. I had played piano for over 40 years, teaching children and performing at local events. The cramps weren't just stealing my livelihood, they were stealing my identity, my joy, and my connection to the music that had defined my entire life. Margaret tried everything she could think of. She invested in ergonomic keyboards, took breaks every few minutes while playing, even underwent physical P sessions that cost her hundreds of dollars. Nothing seemed to work, and her doctors could only offer muscle relaxants that made her feel drowsy and disconnected from the world around her. She was beginning to accept that her days of making music were over when a chance encounter changed everything. The breakthrough came during a routine visit to the Cleveland Clinic, where Margaret was seeing a specialist for unrelated issue. Sarah Chen, a renowned neurologist who has spent over 2 decades studying muscle disorders and their connection to nutrition, happened to overhear Margaret describing her hand cramps to another patient in the waiting room. Dr. Chen's ears perked up, because she had been researching a fascinating connection between certain foods and muscle cramping, particularly in the hands and fingers. Hand cramps are often dismissed as just part of aging or overuse, Dr. Chen explained to Margaret during a chronic consultation. But what we've discovered through extensive research is that many cases of chronic hand cramping can be traced by a single dietary factor that most people never suspect. When you eliminate this trigger food from your diet, the results can be nothing short of miraculous. To understand why certain foods can cause hand cramps, we need to look at the intricate network of muscles, nerves, that blood vessels that make your hands capable of such precise, delicate movements. Your hands contain 27 bones, 29 joints, and over 30 muscles, all working together in perfect harmony to allow you to type, play instruments, or simply hold the hand of someone you love. This complex system requires a delicate balance of minerals, particularly magnesium, potassium and calcium, to function properly. When this mineral balance is disrupted, your hand muscles can go into spasm, contracting involuntarily, refusing to relax. The pain can be so intense that it brings tears to your eyes, and the fear of when the next cramp will strike can make you avoid activities you once loved. But here's what the Cleveland Clinic research has revealed. One of the most common disruptors of this mineral plane, sighting in plain sight in kitchens across America. The food that Dr. Chen and her team at Cleveland Clinic have identified as a major trigger for hand cramps might shock you, because it's often marketed as healthy and essential for an active lifestyle. Processed sports drinks and energy beverages. These brightly colored drinks, consumed by millions of people daily, contain a dangerous combination of ingredients that can wreak havoc on your muscle function, particularly in the delicate muscles of your hands and fingers. The primary culprit in these beverages is not what you might expect. It's not the caffeine, or even the sugar kind, or causes the most problems. Instead, it's the artificial sweeteners, particularly aspartame and sucralose. combined with synthetic electrolyte compounds that interfere with your body's natural mineral absorption processes. These artificial ingredients act like molecular imposters, fooling your body's transport systems and preventing essential minerals from reaching your muscle cells where desperately needed. Dar. Chen's research, published in the Journal of Neurological Sciences, followed 500 patients who suffered from hand cramps. What they discovered was remarkable. 73% of participants who eliminated sports drinks and energy beverages from their diets experienced a significant reduction in hand cramp frequency within just 3 weeks. Even more impressive, 45% reported complete elimination of their hand cramps after 2 months of avoiding these beverages. Connection is both fascinating and deeply concerning. Aspartame, one of the most common artificial sweeteners in sports drinks, breaks down in your body to interfere with neurotransmitter function. These neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers that carry signals from your brain to your hand muscles, telling them when to contract and when to relax. When these signals become scrambled or delayed, your muscles can misfire, leading to the sudden, painful that characterize hand cramps. But the problems don't stop there. The synthetic electrolyte compounds in sports drinks, designed to replace minerals lost through sweating, actually compete with natural minerals for absorption in your digestive system. Your body evolved over millions of years to recognize and utilize minerals in their natural forms. But these artificial versions can actually block the absorption of the real minerals your muscles need to function properly. Consider the case of David, a 54-year-old accountant who had been drinking 2 sports drinks daily for over 5 years, believing he was supporting his health and staying properly hydrated. Despite his good intentions, David began experiencing severe hand cramps that made it nearly impossible to work on his computer, or even sign his name. I couldn't understand why my hands were betraying me, David explains. I was doing everything I thought was right, staying hydrated, exercising regularly, eating what I believed was a healthy diet. The cramps were so unpredictable and painful that I started avoiding activities that required fine motor skills. When David learned about the Cleveland Clinic research, and eliminated sports drinks from his routine, replacing them with clean water and natural electrolyte sources, his transformation was remarkable. Within 2 weeks, his hand cramps became less frequent and less severe. After 6 weeks, they had disappeared entirely, allowing him to return to his work and hobbies with confidence and comfort. The artificial colors and preservatives in sports drinks create another layer of problems for muscle function. These synthetic additives can trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals, and inflammation in the delicate tissues of your hands can make muscles more prone to cramping and spasms. The inflammation doesn't just affect the muscles themselves, it can also impact the nerves that control muscle function, creating a cascade of problems that can persist long after you've consumed the triggering beverage. What makes this discovery particularly troubling is that sports drinks are often recommended by well-meaning health providers and fitness professionals who aren't aware of the latest research on artificial ingredients and muscle function. Many people consume these beverages daily, thinking they're supporting their health and preventing dehydration, when in reality they may be setting themselves up for chronic muscle problems. The Cleveland Clinic research also revealed that the timing of sports drink consumption can influence the severity of hand cramps. People who consumed these beverages in the evening were more likely to experience nighttime hand cramps that could them from sleep, while those who drank them before activities requiring fine motor skills, like typing or playing instruments, were more prone to cramps during these activities. Chen emphasizes that the solution isn't just about eliminating sports drinks, it's about understanding what your hands truly need to function optimally. Your hands are incredibly sophisticated tools that require proper nutrition to maintain their stability and coordination, she explains. When you remove the artificial interference and provide your body with natural, bioavailable minerals, the results can be truly transformative. The process of eliminating sports drinks from your routine and replacing them with healthier alternatives is simpler than you might think, but it requires a strategic approach to ensure you're still meeting your hydration and electrolyte needs. The key is to understand that your body's natural thirst mechanism and a balanced diet can provide everything you need without the artificial interference of processed beverages. Start by gradually reducing your sports drink consumption rather than stopping abruptly. If you currently drink 2 sports drinks per day, reduce to 1 for the first week, then eliminate them entirely in the second week. This gradual approach helps prevent any temporary electrolyte imbalances that could occur from sudden dietary changes. Replace sports drinks with plain water as your primary hydration source, but enhance it naturally when needed. Add a pinch of high-quality sea salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon to create a natural electrolyte drink, provides the minerals your muscles need without artificial interference. The sea salt provides natural sodium and trace minerals, while the lemon adds potassium and vitamin C that support muscle function. For those times when you need additional electrolyte support, such as after intense physical activity or during hot weather, coconut water provides a natural alternative that closely mimics your body's electrolyte balance. Unlike sports drinks, coconut water contains potassium, magnesium, and sodium in proportions that your body easily recognizes and utilizes. One of the most common mistakes people make when eliminating sports drinks is not paying attention to their overall mineral intake from food sources. Your hands need a steady supply of magnesium, potassium, and calcium to function properly. And these minerals are best obtained from whole foods rather than supplements or artificial sources. Focus on incorporating magnesium-rich foods like dark leafy greens, nuts, and seeds into your daily diet. Magnesium is particularly crucial for hand muscle function because it helps muscles relax after contracting. Without adequate magnesium, your hand muscles can get stuck in a contracted state, leading to painful cracks and spasms. Potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, and sweet potatoes help maintain proper muscle function by sending the electrical signals that control muscle contractions. Calcium from dairy products, leafy greens, or fortified plant-based alternatives provides the mineral needed for muscle contraction. Working in balance with magnesium to keep your hand muscles functioning smoothly. Another crucial mistake is not addressing the underlying inflammation that may have developed from long-term consumption of artificial ingredients. Even after eliminating sports drinks, it can take several weeks for inflammation to subside and for your mush and gauze to fully normalize. During this healing period, focus on anti-inflammatory foods like fatty fish, berries, and turmeric to support your body's recovery process. Many people also underestimate the importance of proper hydration timing throughout the day, rather than consuming large amounts of fluids at once, which can actually interfere with mineral absorption. Sip water consistently throughout the day to maintain optimal hydration levels. This steady approach helps ensure that minerals reach your muscle cells when they're needed most. The timing of your meals can also influence hand creep frequency. Eating large or consuming caffeine activities that require fine motor skills can temporarily affect muscle function. Try to finish eating at least an hour before activities like typing, playing instruments, or detailed handwork to allow your body to properly digest and distribute nutrients to your muscles. As you begin this journey toward cramp-free hands, remember that healing takes time and patience. Your muscles have been dealing with the effects of artificial ingredients for months or years, and it will take several weeks for your mineral levels to normalize and your muscle function to improve. Be patient with yourself, and celebrate small improvements along the way. Margaret, the piano teacher we met at the beginning, discovered that her hand cramps were entirely premeditated sports drinks from her daily routine. Within a month of making this simple change, I was back at the piano, playing with the same passion and precision had enjoyed for decades, she says with tears of joy in her eyes. The solution was so simple, yet it gave me back my life, my music, and my sense of purpose. Your hands are remarkable instruments capable of creating, healing, and connecting you to the world around. You deserve the care and attention that only proper nutrition can provide. By eliminating the artificial interference of sports drinks and nourishing your body with natural, wholesomes, you're taking a powerful step toward reclaiming the comfort, function, and joy that healthy hands can bring to your life. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, know that you now have the knowledge to wake up with hands that already grace each new day with strength, flexibility, and freedom from pain. The power to transform. Your experience is in your hands, literally and figuratively, waiting for you. Choice that can change everything.